Oh, hey, what's up?
Yo, I was actually just wondering what anime we're going to be reviewing this week.
It's like Ghost in the Shell.
Haha, good one. What are we actually watching?
I just said, Ghost in the Shell.
No, that's what we did last week. What anime are we going to watch this week?
Again, Ghost in the Shell. Ah, what the fuck did you do that?
Never mind that.
Never mind what, the fact that the psychic ghost slapped me through the phone?
Yeah, never mind that. What anime are we watching this week?
I already told you 3 fucking times, Ghost in the Shell. Last week we did Standalone Complex. This week it's Arise. You know, the prequel?
Oh, ugh. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Find somebody else.
The fuck was any of that? Shit. Oh. Andy.
Oh, I've brought you a gift, Dr. Blinkington. What is that? Karate! Oh, I don't want your gift. I will return it. Gah, gah, gah. Yeah, what?
Hey, buddy, what you doing?
Math problems? For fun?
Yeah, that sounds like you. Anyway, I could really use your help this week for the cover by cover episode. What do you say?
No can do, buddy. Ghost in the Shell this week. I don't do robots, remember?
Yeah, of course, duh. But actually, it's a very different Ghost in the Shell series. Brand new take. No robots at all.
Ghost in the Shell without robots?
Uh-huh. It's like way in the distant past. Years and years before Standalone Complex. It's crazy.
Sounds like it could be interesting. And you're sure no robots?
I fucking promise you on JT's mom's grave that there are no robots in it at all.
Wally McWalla Quackstacker, CEO and Big Cheese.
Hello and welcome to Cover by Cover. I'm happy to be here.
And I'm sure this will be fun. Today we're continuing on our Ghost in the Shell journey, moving away from Standalone Complex and on to the follow-up prequel, Arise.
Hey, where's JT? I thought he would be here for another one of those 3-person episodes.
Well, last week he was such a huge fan of Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex that he actually decided to leave town to go to a Ghost in the Shell fan meetup. Yeah, that's the one.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I just had lunch with JT yesterday in Milwaukee, and he didn't say anything about going on vacation to go to some convention.
Well, the thing is, I don't live in Milwaukee, so out of town. The fan meetup is in Milwaukee.
What?
See? Yeah, makes sense.
There's no anime-related meetup in Milwaukee this weekend. We would know about it. We're like the most famous anime fans in southeastern Wisconsin.
Well, the thing is, Andy, it's not Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's Milwaukee, Oregon. Don't call him to verify. He's probably roaming.
Anyways, I'm actually really excited to watch this show this week. I mean, from what I've heard, it's a well-produced, intricate mystery prequel, sans robots.
Yeah, that's mostly right. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghost in the Shell Arise. Ghost in the Shell Arise is yet another crack at an original take on the franchise, this time in the form of 4 50-minute OVAs, or borders. Like the borders of Japan? I believe we call that the ocean. Anyway, the first two were made available here in the US starting in 2014, with the latter two following the next year. There is technically also a follow-up anime series, but it's not in English yet, so fuck it, we're not doing it.
Arise is one part reimagining and one part prequel to the standalone complex. It is directed by Kazuchika Kisei and released by Production IG, who did all previous Ghost in the Shell material, starting with the 1995 film that kicked off this entire robotic disaster.
Because these were basically treated like movies, the production value is really great. However, because they're 50 minutes long each, we're just gonna watch Border number 1 today as if it were the first 2 episodes of a traditional anime.
Hey, you're sure there's no robots in this show, right?
Yeah.
Because some of the shots in that intro were looking pretty freaking mechanized, if you ask me. I'm starting to get worried.
Well, shut the fuck up, there's no robots, alright? Ghost in the Shell Arise.
We begin with some suits grave robbing someone. They don't bother to identify exactly who they're talking about, which is kind of annoying because I'm already lost, but at the same time, I appreciate them not barfing all the details into my ears in some kind of contrived meta-dialogue. This does give it a more realistic tone. You know what? It's fine. I'll catch up eventually.
Yeah, apparently they're exhuming the body of a criminal so that they can extract his brain, but then they're stopped by some lady on horses.
Wait, is that the Major? I thought you said this was a prequel and that there weren't any robots in this show. I'm pretty sure the Major is an ever-loving robot.
First of all, it is a prequel. And secondly, she's not a robot. She's heavily cyborg.
That's 3 stinking years before Standalone Complex. You said it was way earlier. And how the fuck is heavily cyborg not a robot? This is the same shit.
What? 3 years is a long time and I can prove it. Try holding your breath for 3 years. Yeah, see? Not so short, is it? And a cyborg is a human being with machine augmentations. You're thinking of an android. Androids are robots made to look like humans. Major Kusanagi is not a robot.
It says here that Major Kusanagi is a synthetic full-body prosthesis augmented cybernetic human. Full-body prosthesis? How is that not a robot?
Augmented what?
Augmented cybernetic...
Augmented cybernetic what?
Augmented cybernetic human.
Human! That's right, not a robot. Now, if you could dry your tears and get back to the show with me, that'd be great, you plentiful chode.
I'm Aramaki, Public Security Section 9. We're investigating Lieutenant Colonel Mamoru's murder and are seizing his cyber brain and prosthetic body as evidence. He was suspected of taking bribes, so we'll be looking into that as well. What's your name and unit?
Major Motoko Kusanagi. I'm from Unit 501.
Then you were his subordinate.
And you, what's your old rank and division?
Private First Class Scruffy, 92 Gulf. Culinary engineer. Bakes, fries, braises, boils, simmers, steams, and sautés the path to victory, both home and abroad, against the unrelenting forces of evil that would seek to starve the fickle flame of freedom.
So, a cook.
What's your name and
Yup.
What the fuck is that?
It's an assassin lady who was just holding her breath down there. Definitely not a robot. She's just got a really hard skull bone. She's just, got a really hard skull bone?
No fucking robots, huh?
you can't prove she's not human at all.
No motherfucking fucking bots. And what the fuck do you call that shit right there, Will?
Okay, fine. There's one robot. One. But it's okay. Calm down. It's okay, all right? She's about to be exploded. Look, it's fine. Look. See?
That does make me feel better.
Really?
No, you piece of shit. You lied to me. I don't give a darn about one robot being exploded in one anime. I want them all to die. Like, as a concept.
Holy F, man. You got some deep-seated shit you need to work out. You sound like a genocidal maniac.
What the fuck are you talking about? You can't genocide robots. They're not people. They're made of metal, which we dig out of the ground, by the way. They're basically rocks. What are you, worried about mineral massacres?
Well, maybe I am. I'm a pretty sensitive guy when you get to know me. Oh, by the way, the Mineral Massacre is playing at Summerfest this year.
Oh, no shit?
Yeah.
After the graveyard fracas, the Major heads back on base and goes to her barracks room to shower.
But before stripping down, we see her put her pistol away in a briefcase that's holding a computer disk and about 3 dozen hard-boiled eggs.
Back to the obligatory shower scene because anime.
Yeah, but for some reason this one isn't really bothering me. Maybe because it's not lascivious. Hey, does she need to be worried about getting water in her ports?
Nah, water in the ports just unlocks surveillance mode.
Yeah, it seems like the Major is able to access all surveillance material by tapping into some kind of neural network. I don't know, stupid robot shit. She manages to locate the time and place where Lieutenant Colonel Mamoru was last seen, walking on a city street before ducking into a dark alleyway.
Then within a minute, he's followed by 3 suspicious characters wearing black shawls. Or maybe ponchos? Whatever those stupid diagonal sheets are that women wear sometimes at muumuus?
Fag blankets.
Ah, there it is. Anyway, a minute later it appears that the same robot girl that was hiding in the coffin also had followed the lieutenant colonel into the alleyway. Anyone else think she looks like Kevin Nealon from Little Nicky?
3 men in a mobile landmine were following him before he died.
Wait. They call that robo-assassin chick a mobile landmine?
Yeah, I like it. She's not a girl. She's not even a she. She's an it. And it is much more closely related to a landmine than a girl.
Then, in a new, fresh turn, we get our first look at something being amiss with Major Kusanagi.
Any pain?
No, none at all. Not right now, at least.
Could be a bad contact.
What is the purpose of a medical examiner AI having this big, goofy-ass body?
The same reason any clinic tries to emphasize a human touch in their care. To put the patient at ease.
To put heavily cyborg patients at ease? What, in case they get anxious around disembodied robots? That doesn't even make sense. But alright, let's for the sake of argument, say you're right. Why does this Florence Nightingale have to have such a whopping stupid body? I'd call it bumbling, but it doesn't appear to have any moving joints. It is a monument to ineptitude.
Hey, you're starting to come around. Embrace the robot hate.
Are you a comic book villain?
This is a difficult situation. The prosthetics maintenance rule is now quite far-reaching. It applies to all ownership of assets, to issuing approved identification, possessing cash, or opening a bank account. The cost of prosthetic bodies far exceeds standard health insurance payouts.
There's nothing quite like getting lectured on fiscal prudence by an insurance committee sitting in front of an exorbitantly sized aquarium filled with exotic fish. The Major must not have downloaded the most recent iOS, which included an indignation patch.
I've taken a careful look at your records. I'm quite pleased. I'd like you to work with public security as a special consultant. I request that you find the missing money and analyze the coffin records. It's an official investigation, so you'll be given leave to go off base.
And the pay?
What pay? You're a fucking robot. What do you need to be paid for?
Actually, I'm heavily cyborg, and cyborgs be spendin'!
Think she knows anything?
She might know even less than us.
Well, I mean, She is a woman.
The Major heads back to base to inform her commander that she's accepted a job with public security investigating Lieutenant Colonel Momoro.
Why does this high-ranking military officer dress so ridiculously? God, it's standalone complex all over again.
What?
She looks like a pirate.
Holy crap, that's exactly what she looks like.
Shiver me timbers, yar best not be foisting me jib with these landlocked public security scalawags, or I'll see to it that ye remain below deck scanning thumb drives from malware with nothing but a resty sextant, arr.
Then, while the Major is plugged into Cerebro, checking to see who else is investigating the Momoro case, she somehow is alerted to the fact that there is an infiltrator on base.
There you are.
Well, if it isn't the little tomboy from the lab.
But the fight is broken up because all these people know each other. Apparently they were all in the same unit under Momoro. So wait, why were they fighting again?
The narrative pacing algorithm says it was time for an action sequence.
No wonder there's robots in this show. The director is a robot himself.
No, I just meant it was you know what? Sure, fine. Everyone's a robot. So the Major's conducting her investigation into who placed the mobile landmine trap at the graveyard, which leads her to this guy playing cards in a bar. Sure.
They get into a fight in the alleyway because I guess that's just how people say hello to each other in this world. You know, I freaking love fighting. It's one of my favorite things about anime. But when it's done with no setup, no motives, no stakes, no investment in the outcome of who wins, it feels empty. Like putting a mouth-watering cheeseburger in front of me, but then it's made of styrofoam and just for looks. Thanks for trying to ruin something that I love.
I know. Cheeseburger love is the purest love, but it can never be ruined.
Thanks, man. That was beautiful.
You're welcome. So this guy's an undercover military police operative named Paz who has infiltrated some sort of criminal group that was hired to perform a hit on Lieutenant Colonel Momoro and his cyberbrain in order to destroy all those juicy secrets about illegal weapons exportation and prostitute murder.
What the? Prostitute murder? Where did that come from?
Well, it wouldn't be a government scandal if there were no dead hookers lying around, duh. But it turns out that Paz's group did not execute the hit because someone else beat them to the punch.
Why don't you come with me so we can prove it then?
This ain't the best job, but I can't drop it. Not only would it put me in danger, it would cause trouble for my CO.
Is this CO of yours trustworthy?
Well, it used to be.
Thanks for your cooperation.
So then, she just lets him go. They go from trying to kill each other with knives and guns to, well, it was nice to meet you, good luck with your future career prospects. By the way, check out Maneuver Area 6 if you want to find the stockpile of military mobile landmines. I can't stand these cyborg weirdos. How can you trust somebody who harbors no animosity?
Who is this fucking guy?
It's Brood McShadowake.
Alright, Mr. Shadowake. Couple things. Are those blue dreadlocks? Are they even made of hair? Are they just there for style? What is with the face mask?
Face it, what happened to the Lieutenant Colonel was inevitable.
Well, technically, everyone's death is inevitable, but this guy was murdered. What is your job?
What is anyone's job around here? Like this guy, Bato the Ranger. I guess he's just decided that the Major is the one who murdered the Lieutenant Colonel, so he's just gonna bring her in? Or maybe he'll just smash her himself, because you totally have the autonomy to do that when you're in the military.
If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. Your sleepless eye is too easy to infiltrate, Bato.
Never mind, they're also former colleagues.
I smell a team-up. The Major, Bato, and this police investigator guy are attacked by two of the dudes that followed Momoro into the alleyway. And they've got help.
They found us!
Where are you going?
I'm going to shit on your car.
What? What are you... Andy, what? car? What?
There's deep symbolic meaning in this gesture.
Paz comes to the rescue with a timely pickup and everyone escapes.
You shit on my car!
Turns out Aramaki enlisted Paz to bring the Major in under suspicion for the murder of the Lieutenant Colonel.
First, Major Kusanagi, the missing money went to your account. That's suspicious enough in itself. And second, the bullet you fired at the mobile landmine inside the coffin matches the one that was used to kill...
I have to drive it to get to work!
7 days ago, a prostitute here in town was shot to death.
See? I told you there'd be a dead hooker in here somewhere.
Yeah, he also said that there wouldn't be any robots in this show.
You shit on my car!
You know, someday you'll look back on this story and laugh.
Yeah, and someday you'll be dead and alone with a robo-dildo broke off in your ass.
Major Kusanagi talks about how she never had an original organic body, that her brain was transferred over while in utero when her biological parents were involved in a chemical weapon attack.
I don't know the details, but years ago a number of civilians were apparently killed by a chemical weapon. A pregnant woman and the man assumed to be her husband were among the victims. By coincidence, someone on the scene had the right equipment and they were able to salvage the brain of the fetus.
Wow! That is one hell of a coincidence. Hey you, grab the fetus brain harvesting apparatus out of the left hip pocket of my utility belt. Eat your heart out, sharper image.
The point is that I lack any memory of a body. So this phantom pain is the ghost of a memory I don't have, a false idea that has entered into my mind.
Yeah, that bitch is super infected. You know, that's why you don't go plugging any old external hardware into your ports. Chastity's for your own good, Kusanagi.
The rest of this border is pretty much two things. Major Kusanagi trying to figure out which memories and perceptions are real and which ones are implanted by the virus, and then different corrupt military personnel trying to cover their asses and obfuscate what really happened to Lieutenant Colonel Mamoru. It's super boring and confusing, and I hate it.
Whoa, hold on. You're skipping a whole bunch of stuff. Like the Major figuring out that Mamoru's body was never removed, but just buried deeper under the mobile landmine trap?
Yeah, that would fall under the Major trying to discern what's real and fake.
Yeah, well, I've discerned that you're a real piece of shit. So anyways, she plugs into the Lieutenant Colonel's cyberbrain.
Is there no end to this robot bullshit?
And sees her reality, which is a profoundly idiotic thing for a robot to say.
Ha! So you admit she's a robot. There is another noteworthy fight scene with the Major and Brood McShadowAche for just the animation and choreography alone.
Yeah, but it suffers from all the same problems you mentioned earlier. Why are they fighting? The Major showed up to some derelict building. We don't know when, we don't know why. What is this place? She uncovers a hidden stash of cash. Sounds stupid. Finds a cache. Fuck, whatever. You get what I mean. And then she's just attacked by a fellow military member that she knows from earlier. Is this a betrayal? Hard to know because after the dust settles, Anne Bonny comes out and they just have a chat.
Raizo and Ibachi were trying to lure the enemy here using this money as bait.
Then why the fuck did he attack me? I'm not the enemy. I work for you.
Well, as you already know, Raizo wears an eye patch that obscures his entire field of vision. 100% of the time, he has no idea who he's attacking.
At least that would be an explanation.
The setup began when our enemies used Mamoru's gun to murder the prostitute. The mine attack on the ranger, the phony bribery. All the blame was placed on him. We're able to eliminate 6 spies from the group. I just want this to end.
Wow, that's cool. Hey, do you remember that one time when your dudes attacked me? I remember that time. I was all, I'm gonna try to uncover who's really behind this murder. And you guys were like, hey, isn't that our comrade, Kusanagi? Yeah, I think it is. Whatever, go fuck her up. Crazy times.
And then sometimes after I've forgotten about that, I'll go reach for a cup of coffee or go to shake someone's hand and then remember it because, Brood Shadow Ache snapped my fucking arm off. But it's cool because it's not like I'm being hounded by insurance vampires for damages to my prosthetic body, which, by the way, is military property. No problem, I'll be happy to pay for the damages with the no pay that I get because I'm a robot.
Fuck this show.
You left me in the dark the entire time.
We had to.
Why?
Unit 501 would have gone on the Army purge list in retaliation for the scandal.
So you let him die, out of personal convenience.
If it wasn't for the memory virus, maybe we still could have saved him.
Why?
As soon as I arrived in Japan and received the data he left for me, I tried to meet with Mamoru as quickly as possible.
But when you connected to his cyber brain, you were infected.
But how did she know that the Lieutenant Colonel's recently deceased body was in that alleyway? This was before she connected to Cerebro to sift through surveillance footage.
I really don't know. What I do know is that the expo dump is not yet complete. The pulchritudinous privateer still needs to set up the next border by theorizing about the source of the Firestarter virus and who their real enemy might be.
The whole global military-industrial complex is our enemy.
Oh, fuck off.
Everything gets tied up in a neat little bow, with Lieutenant Colonel Mamoru being cleared of all charges, and Kusanagi inheriting a trust fund from her deceased legal guardian, making her the owner of her own body. Now actually, on the whole, I thought this was pretty great, so... as opposed to Andy over here, blah, Rage Man, I would continue watching.
I think I'm gonna surprise you here.
I hate robots.
Wow, you're right, Andy. I am virulently surprised.
Ghost in the Shell Arise isn't bad. There's plenty of stuff here to like, starting with the animation and sound. It's basically all movie quality, which is nice, but it almost sort of distracts from the details of the plot, which was a frustrating sticking point for me when I sat down and really tried to figure out who was double-crossing who, and what the order of events were in an anachronistic timeline that didn't try very hard to draw you a roadmap. But my biggest beef is with the characterization. Robots and military personnel are two of the least interesting emotive categories of people I can think of, and our main character is a combination of both of those two. That being said, I can understand why people would watch Arise, but there's way too much other content I'd rather spend my time on.
As for me, despite how many criticisms I've laid at the feet of this show, there is actually a lot more going on here to distinguish this from anything else in the franchise, and also a lot more interesting things going on. I'm actually intrigued to see what this does from a whole new starting point, and even though this wasn't the most auspicious of beginnings, it was certainly a hell of a lot better than what I saw last week. So yes, despite possible misgivings and hesitations, I would actually continue watching.
Well, that's it for this week on Cover by Cover. I'm Andy Moore.
And I'm Will Ryan, reminding you all at home, lying always complicates things.
Hey, yeah, I'm still mad at you about that.
You shit on my car!